Hey there, family. This is a pop-in live this morning, so I hope I get a few people that's coming in. I'm going to wait. As you can see, I was just coming off of my run. I still got my headphones on. So anyway, yep, this is just, I'm just coming to you as I am, so I'm gonna wait a few minutes, see if anybody pops in and see if I'm live on. But I just felt compelled to come this morning and share some good keys that's been on my mind while I was running and while I was just running this morning, taking my spiritual walk in in nature and how beautiful it is today. And it's kind of raining. So I don't know if you guys, it was raining, but it's not raining. So I'm going to wait for a couple of the family to come in. I know this is a pop-up live, but sometimes it's just good to come on live. Y'all know I don't often, but some things have been on my mind. So I've got some people that are here in the spirit that are longevity. They've been coming to the channel for over the past year or two. Hey, good morning. Hi, Helen. Good morning. If I can't see the little words, y'all forgive me because I don't have my glasses. But I can see real good, but just little glasses and little words is kind of tough for me. But I'm just wanted to pop in. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for the family to come in. If I start driving, because I do need to get home, I'll put it in my holder here. But I just wanted to, I had a few things that have been on my mind and on my heart that I really needed to share. Good morning. Hey, Abby. Good morning. So make some comments to let me know that you're in the chat. If anybody want to moderate, just let me know. I don't know a lot about that, but it's just been on my mind. So I'm going to wait a few minutes. After I run, I get a lot of inspiration in my exercise, but I got to come to my family, and my mind has been on just some few real things that are going on that I think would be wonderful for me to share. And you could jump in too, but I'll wait a few more minutes. And but I'll just start getting into it, and I'll let you know if I'll keep this live up and save it or if I'll take it down. So the title is, how do you know if a person is spiritually experienced or have the experience? How do you know that? Okay, so it had been on my mind. I'm gonna say it a couple of times while I wait for the family to come in. It had been on my mind a couple of times. You can see I'm in my run gear, just got through running, exercising, taking my 4-mile nature connection with God and the spirit. So I get a lot of inspiration. So maybe I'll do some lives right after that. I don't know, but let's get it in. So here we go. Now, what I want to, hey, good morning. Good morning. So I wanted to share with you about how do you know someone is experienced spiritually? And this is random. This isn't a setup where I got a outline of things I'm going to say. So, and I'm not. So I'm going to come straight off of what's been in my heart. Now, how do you know? Well, a couple of things. Let me give you a couple of examples. If you've been in a workplace, let me give you an example of someone having some experience and who you should get lessons from. You should get lessons from people that are masters. Let me give you an example. When I worked in a particular job, I was in a job that is in my experience, my expertise of social work. And so when I was in my first job, who did I go to truly get my experience and really learn? I didn't get my learning experience from a fellow peer. I got it from someone that was seasoned. And her name was Miss Sharon Gotham. She was wonderful. She was like 15 years my senior. And I spotted how gracious she was and how articulate she was. But the experience, I saw the level of age with her, and I saw how good she was. So I said, that's who I'm going to learn from in this job. And so I selected her. She didn't know that I selected her, but in my mind, I did. Because I knew that I wasn't going to pick a peer. I'm going to pick someone that's got some experience, because I needed to know that she had enough life experience to teach and what I needed to know. So that's one you need to look at. When you're looking for spiritual understanding and expertise, it needs to be someone that is not your peer. Some may get mad at me right now. It is what it is. I'm just going to keep it real. And I'll see if I'll save this live. But I have found in my life experience that I'm not going to go to someone that's the same age as me or that's younger than me. The reason why is that they don't have the life experience. Life experience teaches spirituality. Life experience even teaches in your work environment. So my point in saying that is that when you go into someone for spiritual learning and understanding, there's a couple of things that they have to have, in my opinion, under their belt. And that is some heartache. If you at a certain age, you may have some love heartache, but you haven't had some death heartache. I mean, you haven't been bankrupt. And when I'm saying bankrupt, I'm not just talking about financially bankrupt. I'm talking about bankrupt financially, bankrupt spiritually, bankrupt in love, bankrupt, maybe homeless, bankrupt where you have hit rock bottom. You have landed in something, an area that's so deep in your life that makes you reflect on, wow, where am I? And then you know how to navigate your teeth. Also, too, with spiritual expertise in life, you have had to experience some death. Yes. Normally, someone that has some spiritual experience, they have experienced death. Maybe they've experienced a very close loved one with death. And I'm not classifying people that's a little bit with some maturity because somewhere it has affected them. They may have had multiple deaths that has taught them some life experience. Okay, they've had some multiple deaths that have taught them how to navigate through grieving, through how to pull themselves out of deep dark areas that sometimes death can take you. Okay, good morning. Agreed. Thank you. Yes, that's one thing. You have had to have some death. That's how you have to deal with someone that if you are a spiritual expert, you have experienced something that is so grieving. Good morning, Lolita, that it has taken you to rock bottom. It may have taken you when you going through this thing spiritually that you may have been in a dark place that you don't know how to get out of. Somebody may have had to open up the blinds and some death in some areas that somebody had to pull you out. And then once you've gone through that mourning and that grief, you know how to spiritually navigate and help someone else. That's an expert. That's an expert. You may have been, another expertise is that you, when I mentioned bankrupt earlier, you may have been bankrupt, have lost some things in your life. You're not new to manifesting. Okay. You're not 8 years into manifesting. You've been manifesting some decades. That is spiritual experience. That is depth. That is not new to spirituality. That's not new age, where you just now knowing how to set intentions or manifest, or you just now learning how to levitate, or you just now in the experience, you trying to look like you got that experience, but in reality, you don't. And I'm going to just, I had to break this thing down, and you may not like this, you may not, but I'm just going to say it. If you under 30 years old, you are not a life coach. You are going through a journey of life because you don't have enough. You don't have enough experience to do spiritual counseling because that's not enough experience. That's not a life coach. That's a life journey. Okay. So that's my opinion of an expert, a master in spirituality. That's my opinion. I have been going through spiritual experiences and been a spiritualist and someone I've been in the game a long, long time. And when I'm saying game, I have the life experience. You can't teach you can't teach life experience. You can't teach spirituality. It looks good. You got a lot of pretty stuff out here. I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of pretty videos. There's a lot of pretty Instagrams. There's a lot of pretty Twitters, a pretty TikToks, a lot of pretty. Okay. It's the illusion of it. Ranita, I may not have all the pretty photos and the pretty this, but let me tell you something. This woman right here, she got the experience to bring you out, to teach you some things, how to change your life. Why? Because I got the life experience. Click like if you hear. I have life experience. I navigate through life. And in my opinion, that's a spiritualist. That's a master. Okay. So a master is someone, they also too. I'm going to tell you another thing. You're not, and you may get a little, people may grin on this or frown on this. I don't know, but I'm going to keep this real. You can't, if you are a person with experience and a master, I'm going to tell you like this. You can't be going new to tarot reading. And then all of a sudden, you go back to, you all of a sudden are a Christian. It don't go like that. Normally, I'm going to tell you what it is. Normally, you go through Christianity first. Then you navigate through the occult, meaning the new age thing, the tarot. But tarot has been around for ages. But the Rider-Waite were developed in 1909. I believe that's the date. But divination in that area has been around for ages, since Gaia, the original goddess. Okay, Gaia, look that up. However, this is my opinion. I don't believe in that. That's my opinion. If you are now dropping tarot and you now Christian, that means you don't have enough experience. That means you under 30 something. You new to this thing. That's not normally how it goes. Normally, you have some Christian background experience. You're either catechalism, Muslim, but especially if you're in the U.S. and Australia, a lot of dominance in the Christian area. Normally, you coming from a Christian background or Catholic background or Muslim, and then you going into the New Age, the occult. You're not flipping back to that. You flipping into integrating that faith base and integrating the divination and tarot and those type of things. Somebody just asked me, a chat in here, asked me, do I believe in LOA, the law of attraction? Absolutely. Absolutely, I believe in the law of attraction. Absolutely. There's no way you can navigate through this thing called life if you don't believe in LOA. If you're new to LOA, you need to pull out some books. By Rhonda Bay. I believe that's her last name, The Secret. You can go to a lot of law of attraction books that's been around since ages. You can go to the library and pull a book like that. You don't even have to buy. But me saying this is that, I'm saying that because I'm just bringing out some expertise in some things. All right. And because I see a lot in the social media environment, and I'm not knocking anybody. Trust me. I'm not, but I just want to share that from my heart. Good morning. Is that you have to have some skill set. You have to be in the spirituality walk for several decades to call yourself a master or a spiritualist or a bruja or an occultist or magician, whatever it is. Or you're just now on a life journey. Okay. Whereas for me, speaking of myself, I have decades of experience, decades. And I can teach people a lot of different areas from where they are. And I do get questions on, that's what I'm saying, this was a random live. Sometimes I get questions on, can you be a Christian and believe in tarot or believe in goddesses and all those things? It's an individual walk. So you have to go to spirit within yourself and go to spirit, the universe, the divine, the source, and find that integration in your life. Because you can integrate things, because ultimately it's one. But you can integrate things that will help you. Why? Because you're on an individual walk. You're on an individual journey. There's no journey the same. There's no journey the same. Okay? However, it is good to get understanding by those that are masters, those that's been in the spirituality, that's been in all of these arenas for a minimum of 20 plus years and actually have been doing it. Okay. So if anybody have any questions, you're more than welcome to pop some up. Some of them will come up here. Don't ask me nothing random that I'm not talking about, because I'm not going to answer it. I'm just being real, because I was really just led. It was on my mind while I was reading this, while I was running this morning, while I was exercising this morning, to come in and talk about this, because we have a lot of people that come and graze into the spiritual tribe here. And when I'm saying grazing is they come and get some substance a little bit on the daily readings, and they graze through it, and then they walk away. And so what happens is, they're going from plate to plate to plate to plate to plate and not really getting any substance. And in order to get substance in spirituality is that you have to take time on a daily basis and get into your sacred space, altar time, meditation time. We're getting into that this week. I am going to have coming in on a weekly basis on how to build your sacred space and gratitude and these different things, and how to really get that thing in order to build your spirituality and build your walk and your journey. Okay. However, in saying that, you have to at least be in doing something consistent so that you can understand and maximize things into your life. So if you randomly learning stuff from all these different tables, it's not going to take root. So that's where you have to sit down with yourself. Either you can come here on a daily basis and get the daily dose, and that way that'll set you in a rhythm of doing something. Because lots of times people just get up and throughout their day, they don't have a standard, or they don't do something consistent so that their life is changing. You just get up, get dressed, and move into the day and let the day do what it do. You want to prepare your day so that it goes the way that you wanted to design it. Okay? So this is why it's really imperative that we get into a rhythm. You hear me say that every morning when I do the daily reading, and we do the astral forecast, and then we do the bay leaf wish spell, which is bay leaf burning on Sundays. But I come every day so that we could be consistent. Good morning. Good morning. So it's imperative that we, okay, and it's not from all the pretty pictures you can see on Instagram and all the pretty, I'm just not skilled, and I'm not being led to have a whole lot of pretty on here. I want to bring it to where it hits home, and then that way you can apply it, and that is real. And that is real. So, that was just me just stepping in a little bit this morning. It was on my heart to say something about, everything that's glitter is not gold. Everything that's pretty that you see and everybody's glamorous, and that's not spirituality. Spirituality is about helping those that are sick and trying to find their way out of some dark areas. That's what spirituality is. Spirituality is about changing things that has hurt you. And how do you make it better? How do I navigate? You're welcome, Blue Moon, Black Moon, you're welcome. That's how life is with spirituality. Spirituality is about change. Changing from within and for it to show on the outside. That's what spirituality is. It's not about I'm pretty on the outside and it's 7:00 your time, Lolita. Okay, good evening. It's not about being everything is so glamorous, and I got all the pretty layouts. That's not what spirituality is. Spirituality is about doing the work. Getting in your books, getting your journals out, taking time with yourself, getting quiet, and writing what's coming out. of yourself. That's one key area about spirituality. And it's about change. We don't want to look up a year later. You hear me say this all the time in the mornings. I don't want you to look up a year later, and you shouldn't want to look up a year later and be the same. We should not be the same a year from now. It should be some differences that you should see. You should be able to see it in your journals and see there's some change in your spirit and who you are. And others that be around you, they should see some change too. That's about spirituality. Spirituality is very deep, and it's really on a spiritual quest. It's because they done been hurt and they need change. They need change. And that's really about what spirituality is about. So we can light a bazillion candles and be up here doing a bazillion stuff. But and I'm going to tell you something, this is another thing. When I do those altars with us here, that's real deal. It's the real deal. I'm not playing with your life. When I light those candles on those altars and I write out your individual petitions and your intentions, I treat each one of them candles like it's your soul, because it is your soul. Okay? So that's another area. I don't know why that's coming out. But when you join part of the altar candle services that we do here, that's your soul pouring out, asking for something in your life. It's asking for something in your life. So, let's make sure that we're looking for spiritual expertise and masters, and not that's counterfeit. Not that's on a life journey and calling themselves a life coach or a spiritual counselor. If you under 30, I'm going to have to disagree. Because I'm going to say when I was under 30, I was on a life journey. There's a lot of aches and a lot of hurts. However, after you cross that bridge over 30, a lot of stuff that you thought was a certain way is not. A lot of stuff you were sold, it is not. Okay? So me saying that is that I'm just saying spiritual mastery and spiritual experience comes through some time put in, age, investment in the readings and spending time with the divine, the source. And there's some pain that come along with it. There's some pain. So a lot of people that want to be, say, spiritualists, they this, they that, not quite sure how much pain you didn't experience. But those that do readings, that are mediums and clairvoyances, and we have that experience with the divine and source because we didn't put the time in, guess what? The divine and source and the angels, they trust you. They can't trust you as a one-hit wonder. That means that's a miracle they gave you. And the realms, guess what? They're going to trust you because you got a relationship. It's just like when you are in a relationship with someone else. You're not going to just give them your heart. If you are, that means you don't got enough life experience. Because you can't just give your heart to anybody. It's just like you having a diamond ring. You think you're just going to give your diamond ring to just anybody? Well, that's the same thing about your heart. Same thing. You got to be able to, with this thing called life, and when you're dealing with the angel, spirit guides, and the divine, they got to trust you that you're going to come back and sit with them and be a part. And that's what what we getting ready to set up for, this thing about journaling coming up each week. I'm going to have a segment coming up. This is going to set us up through 2020 so that we are on the proper quest on a daily basis and really truly committed. Because in this area of YouTube and all the social, not going to come up on the search engine as that. Because it's not something that people going to say, "Oh, let me see that." No, because it's going to require work. I'm just telling you. So this team over here, Spirit Tribe over here, We're about that work. That's what I'm about. When I'm coming here, I'm about work. You know, when I do ritual work for people here, I'm about work. Yeah. When I do conjure work, I'm going to put it out there. When I do conjure work for people here, which I call it conjure work because it's work, you can talk to me. I don't diss you. I don't dismiss you. If I have, it's probably because I might have just been so busy, I might have missed that WhatsApp communication. But on the norm, I'm going to tell you, because I've been doing this 20 plus years, not on YouTube. I have clients for years, and I have clients here that has been with me for years. Why? Because we communicate on an ongoing basis. I don't just do work for you and then I'm just bye-bye and I block you. I'm not like that, because I believe in we have a relationship. Overall, if it don't even work out the way that you work out, I did the work. And maybe the angel spirit guys got something else for you. Okay. Knowing that I cared enough to keep communication with you. That's what's important. Hey, Muriel. Hey, Muriel. Good morning. And also too, those that brought baths. This is another thought, and you guys know I do cleansing baths. Those that I've gotten a little bit behind, so forgive me, charge it to my heart, not my head. Just a FYI side note, if you check out the video, it's coming out tomorrow. And I'm gonna give you the reason why. Everything's been ready, but this week we were on half a days, my daughter. So it kind of threw off my whole half days all week. So it threw off my schedule. So everything is packed and ready. And you got some wink in my eyes because of that. Y'all got some extra goodies in that kit. So a lot of people know when they get stuff from me, it's just not what you order. It's I always get something extra because, you know, we're family here. And I come up with ideas like, oh, they probably need this. And then I include it in there. So that's just something how I am, you know. So, and saying that, I know I've been here. It looks like I've been here like 30, going on 30 minutes. But I got to get home. If you guys can see, I'm just finished up my run and going to need to fix some breakfast and stuff for my family. But, you know, you guys are my family. Women, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like to call you guys, but ladies and gentlemen, you are my family. You are my spirit tribe. I'm here for you as you are here for me. Let you know that some people have emailed me a couple of things that were going on with their life. I know you're going to see this video. I did read it. I just haven't responded yet. I was smiling and reading it and nodding as I was reading it because I was taking a little downtime yesterday. So if anybody have any questions, you know, you can always email me. You can always make sure you go to the website. We do have quite a few things coming up this week. New moon, Mercury in retrograde. I mean, we've got a lot of things coming up that we need to work with to make sure that we stand on it and making change and making haste. Okay. And not sitting on our loins and just looking at a video and be like, oh, I wish I would have did that, you know, and then forget 5 minutes because we didn't graze to everybody else. No, we want to put in some work so we can get some change. And even when we don't see change immediately, because we live in a microwave world, it doesn't mean that the divine and source isn't doing the work. It's just sometimes you just got to trust and believe and wait. Because you always hear me trust and believe and dig what? Deep. You always hear me say that. So sometimes when we don't see things move physically, trust and believe those things are moving in the astral plane. Just keep trusting and believing in it. Okay? So in saying that, I love each and every one of you. I just wanted to check in today and say a little hello. And have a really great day. We do have the bay leaf burning coming up. So, and everybody, hey, everybody, I see your chats. It's kind of coming up kind of slow. So I'll get a chance to review. If you want to make comments down in the comments section, go on ahead. But we do have a couple of things coming up for today, okay? I love each and every one of you. Have a great and wonderful Sunday. Get your day set up for the week. Take time with yourself and meditate and rest most of all. And don't forget to always trust and believe in yourself what? First. Always believe and trust in yourself first, okay? I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. See you guys. Now the pop-ups are coming up. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.